What is up, guys? Today we're going to show you how to do the right thing and the wrong thing. And what I mean by that is wiring. So there's a correct way to do wiring on a car and there's an incorrect way. So we're going to go a little bit over that in a couple different ways. We're going to show you kind of a couple different types of ways to do wiring. And what I mean by that is like connections. Let's dive into that, and we're going to show you some hack job that I did on this thing that we're going to fix today, because I don't think that's the problem, but it's en route to the alternator, hopefully fixed. So let's get into this. Alright guys, here we go. So the way that I'm going to do it today, show you the right way, is with soldering. So soldering has been around probably for a long time. I don't really know my history on soldering. It's not what I'm trying to do here. But the best way that I see to do wiring is to solder. You cut back on any kind of problems from dirt getting into your connection, moisture, engine fluids of any kind that you would have with a butt connector. Not saying that a butt connector is the wrong way to do it, but you can have problems if your crimp didn't get tight enough when you crimped it, or if you didn't heat up your heat shrink around it. Moisture and stuff can get in there and cause disconnections in your wiring. And then there's different types of wiring. So the wiring that we're going to use on this alternator today is 8-gauge fine thread wire. This comes from Amazon. This stuff is kind of hard to find. Local stores don't carry this big of a wire. I don't know why, but they don't. I could never find any. Other types of wire, there's speaker wire. There's different types of size of wires. There's 8-gauge, which this is. There's 10, 12 gauge, you know, so on and so on. 14 gauge. The wire number goes up. The smaller the wire, the smaller the number, the bigger the wire. Now this is residential and commercial wiring. This is not the right kind of wire to use on automotive. It's for different purpose. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know it carries a lot of voltage and it can kill you. So this 12-volt truck, more likely probably not going to kill you if you get zapped by it. But yeah, this is not the right kind of wiring. The strands in the wiring is way bigger. Comparison to the 8-gauge wire and your speaker wire. Not saying that this won't work, but it's not right. It's just not. But that's what I did. I went to Lowe's and I needed to extend it, and I was in a hurry, and I put some household wire on it. I don't know what size it was. I guess it was 8-gauge or 10-gauge, but it's just not right. And if you cut out the many splices that you have in between the destination to destination, you lack air that could occur in your wiring, just like from the butt connector. So we're going to show you how we're going to fix this wiring today. We went ahead and took off all the wire loom that covered the wire. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery now and get this wiring out and get this thing fixed. I don't think that's the problem, but it's a problem for air down the road. Alright, so soldering is not really that hard. I used to not be able to do it at all until I come across this machine. This is from Amazon. I don't really know too much more other than that. It's called Track Power. But this thing, I mean, it solders wonderful. But the key to it is to make sure you have flux. If you don't have this, then it's not going to work. I'm going to try it a little different today. This is actually a little bigger than my wire. So I'm going to put this in my vise. I have snipped off a couple pieces of the solder, and I'm going to melt it in this with a lighter and then stick my wire down in there and then finish soldering it. This might not work, but I hope it does. I'm going to grab a lighter. Alright, so we got our new wire made. I don't know what kind of problem I was having there, but the solder didn't want to stick to this end. But I guess we got it hot enough to where it's sticking now. So we're going to go ahead and put this wire back in the truck. Then try to straighten up some of the wiring that we've gotten messed up now. And we'll tighten that up. That'll be one issue fixed. That was kind of half-assed. So we'll go ahead and slap this back on. And then we're probably going to try to dive into the alternator problem and see if we can kind of figure out, maybe, hopefully, what the issue is on that. And then we're going to do some test drives. We got the bed just about cleaned out. Got to take my bedsides out so we don't throw those out in the middle of the road when we take off. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Alright, so I got my wire run for the alternator, but I gotta tidy up some wiring, put some tape and stuff on it still, and make it look a little better. But so the truck's been sitting for about a month, and I went to start it up, you know, to kind of see if it was gonna act weird with the wiring again. And guess what? The fuel pump went out of it. Fuel pump. Dead as a doorknob. It won't do nothing. But yeah, so when you turn the truck on, it'll go, you know, like a fuel pump does. But it don't do nothing now. So I'm going to show you what it does. I'm going to show you the silence that it makes. So the fuel pump is right back there. No fuel pump. No start. So I guess we're going to be pulling the tank out. But depending on where the pickup is, we might just be able to move the bed, which I hope that's what we have to do. Because I don't really want to drop the tank, because that is a pain in the butt. So stay tuned. We're going to figure out what to do next. Welcome back, guys. It has been a minute since I was here last working on this. I think it's been about 2 months. What we have accomplished and what we have tore up, I believe we found the wiring problem. I'm going to go ahead and show you that and tell you a little bit more about that. So there is a power wire that runs underneath the dash here. Ignore my wiring nightmare, but there's a power wire that runs from the junction box over here to the computer. There's about, no kidding, there's about this much of wire that was corroded up somehow. I don't know exactly how it corroded up, or if it was self-inflicted from my bad soldering experience. We sectioned it out and spliced it, just twisted it together just to jump out that section. We're gonna have to put a new piece in this right here. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. What we're gonna do today, we're gonna pull the bed off the truck and get it sit in the floor, because that is the next biggest thing this truck needs to be done to have it completely done. So that's gonna be our next thing we do. But that was our wiring problem, I believe. I don't know, I haven't got to drive it to be able to tell. I backed it out of the garage yesterday, and I was going to make it a little easier to pull this bed off today. The power steering hose, line, whatever you want to call it, pressure side, decided to break. So we went ahead and took it off yesterday. As you can see, my engine bay is really, really clean on this side because I had power steering fluid all over it, and I had to try to clean it off, but it looks like there's still some over there. Yes, we need to get that off. We need to do a little more cleaning. But it went everywhere. It was all over the motor, all over the frame. But this thing needs a real good cleaning because it has been sitting, as you can see, for a while. But the pressure side to the power steering, it boats up there and runs down to here. So we're going to have to go get one made Monday, I believe. I'm going to try to. But it's leaking right out of there where this goes together. And I made this, so it may have been self-inflicted. But I'm going to go to a hose place on Monday and see if they can make me a line I really hope they can make one close to this because I thought it looked really good. But that's my first pressurized line I've made for a power steering. But this side doesn't leak, but this side, it's like turning a water hose on. But anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of junk in the bed that needs to be taken out. So we're gonna have to take that out before we can actually pull the bed off. I think I'm gonna be able to do this by myself. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna clean it out. I gotta take all the bed liner out because I wanna look at the floor real good and make sure it's not all beat up. I don't think it is. I think somebody put bed liner in this when this bed come out from the factory pretty soon after they got it. So we're gonna tear into that and see what that's like. So I'll be right back. Well, hello there. It's been a few minutes since we have been here working on the truck bed. I'm going to show you guys what I have done so far. We're not quite finished yet, but I have probably 90% of it done. I have some up front here that I have not taken loose yet. And I have this little corner still to do. This will probably take me about an hour to do. I mean, this stuff does not want to come off. So if you're wanting rhino lined, recommend this brand. Great brand, but if you want to ever have to take it off, don't call me. But we're going to have to pull the rest of this off, and then we should be ready to figure out how we're going to take this thing apart, because we have to take both bedsides off, and they're welded on. We don't have to take the skins off. It wouldn't be that easy. We have to take the whole bedside loose. I'm not really exactly sure how it comes apart yet. I believe it's welded together on both ends, on the headache rack or whatever you want to call it, and back here on the back edge of the bed. And then there's a seam that goes up here, up and around the tub, or you can go around this way, which is probably what we're going to do because we just want the floor. And my tubs are in really good shape dent wise, but there is a little bit of rust on both spots on the tubs, kind of, sort of. I don't know how dark it is down here, how well you can see, but it is rusty in that little corner, which doesn't worry me too much. They sell tubs. You can buy those aftermarket. We're going to buy GM ones of those because we don't need GM. But we're going to go ahead and get to work on this because this is not going to be easy, and it's not going to be a 5-minute job by no means. So we're going to go ahead and proceed forward with that bed liner job, and hopefully next time you see it, it's going to be up on some kind of jack stands, and we're going to be taking this bad boy apart. Alright guys, you can see in the background, I got the bed moved over here now. Was sitting over there in the middle of the floor. Now I'm sitting over here in the middle of the floor. But what we're going to start with, we got to clean the bottom of the bed up. It's a little rusty in some places, but the floor of it's in really good shape. The cross members are not in great shape. There's my nice C-notch job I did on the middle cross member. It's ready to go. But a few of these have bolts that have broke off in them, so I'm going to have to replace those. The nut is on the back side, so I don't really know how it's going to come out. I don't know if maybe these are spot welded in, I believe. And then this plate right here, I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm going to try to take the plate off and replace the nut on the back side. A few of these are okay, I think. Might just need to be cleaned up with a thread chaser. Like these perches on the back here, they're trashed. I might have to take them completely off, weld them on. Look at that, it's completely gone. This is rusted out over here, but I think that's part of the bedside, so we're not going to worry too much about that. But right now we're going to get our spot weld drill bit, if I can find it, hopefully. And we're going to try to drill these spot welds out. Then we're going to clean the underside up, knock the loose stuff off, knock the rust off, and then we're going to undercoat it, flip it back over. Then we're going to start taking the bed sides off. So let's get going on this thing, get this thing done. We got to start working on other projects, meaning this. What is up, guys? I'm gonna give you a little update before I get too far ahead of myself. So instead of half-assing this bed, I decided that I was gonna replace the cross member that I got to looking at. That's completely rusted out. Take a look at that real quick. This is one that's toward the middle. Oh, wrong side. This side looks all right. It's got a little surface rust, you know, but nothing a little grinding wheel or flap disc couldn't do or fix. But this side, brother, is gone. And I didn't even really realize that it was like this because of the undercoat that was on it. And the inside is just as bad. I mean, it is trashed. And it's just as bad as the Ford. And I'm not putting it back together like that. No. But anyway, I took 2 cross members off before I broke my spot weld drill bit. I literally broke it in half. I don't know how I did that. If you don't know what a spot weld drill bit is, it is a drill bit that's like a hose saw. You take a little drill bit and you get a little starter pilot hole. And then this goes on there like that. And it's like a little hose saw bit, but it's snapped in half. So we're done for the night on that. I still gotta take this one off. This one actually looks pretty nice. I C-notched it and everything so the rear end didn't hit. But we're gonna cut up the new one that we get. Bought 4. So we're gonna replace this one, that one, and that one. This one you can't get, but it is in great shape, so we're gonna keep it. We're gonna make these plates. These plates go like this, but they're all rotted out, just like the rest of the bed. So we're gonna make that. I gotta get a nut tomorrow, and then we're gonna take some flat metal I'm gonna get, and we're gonna fold it up and weld it together and grind it down and make it nice and smooth, and weld it into place. I might try to get that done tomorrow, but we're supposed to have our cross members in Wednesday. That's what it says. Coming from Amazon. Got a discount on them. We gotta get a spot weld drill bit before we can do anything else, really. We'll be back tomorrow. Look, guys, we have parts. I got weld through primer, got my spot weld drill bits. Recommend buying them off of Amazon. They're a lot cheaper and you get a lot more. Then we got my Dorman cross members. We're gonna go ahead and open this up. We got a lot of work to do ahead of us. Now we have parts to do the job, so we'll be good to go. And we also got our brackets. Got our brackets made. They look gangster as usual. My fabricator did an awesome job on this. He did a great job. The right side turned out even better. Look at that. Ready for primer. So drill some holes in it for the spot welds. But let's go ahead and open this box. Well, guys, here's the cross members, bright green and everything. This one's a little funky. I don't know why it's so wide down here. I think the bottom cross member, which this one is, I think has this lip like this, but I don't know if it's like that one or not, but that's okay. We can modify it if we need to. But we got our cross members now. We got our paint, new drill bit. So we should be ready to start putting this thing back together. I think I'm going to start with the brackets tonight. Get those going. Still got a little cleanup to do on spot welds on this one. And we still got to take the bottom cross member off. So we still got quite a bit to do before we're going to start on the cross members. I might even start taking the bedsides off and put them on before I put the cross members back on, just because there's some of the spot welds actually are behind where the cross members sit, so I'm not going to be able to get to them if I put the cross members on. But guys, we are going to have to cut this one short because we are out of time, out of money. No, not just yet, but we're close on that also. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys watching all my videos, whoever does. We're coming a long way. Next week is going to be our 1 year. We'll have a video out for you guys on that. Haven't started it yet, but I'm going to put together a little recap of our past year. So it's been 1 year on YouTube. I've been going a little longer on all my other stuff. So check us out on there, guys. Appreciate all you all. Thanks for watching, guys. And remember, keep on hot rodding. See you next time. Well, guys, figured out why this cross member is different. It's not for this truck. I guess it's for maybe a newer style truck or something other. So we're gonna box them back up and send them back to Amazon. Thanks, Amazon. Appreciate your service. But it's not really Amazon's fault. I saw a truck bed like this, comment section. Some dude was putting these cross members on the bottom of his truck. So I guess he found a rude awakening when he went to bolt his bed up to his truck and it didn't fit. If you see any cross members, send them my way. Because we're still looking for some.